Hello there. It may seem like buying things online is a normal thing, right? A deal here, a price there, but have you ever thought about the horror behind seemingly innocent deals? Well, today I have 3 stories for you about people who decided to buy simple things online, and instead they got experiences they will never forget for the rest of their lives. Get ready for some stories that will make you reconsider dealing with strangers online and couch buying. At 22, our heroine found herself looking for a reasonably priced couch for her new apartment. She browsed Craigslist and found a seemingly good deal, and the man was asking to contact her via email. But out of curiosity, she reached out. It wasn't 5 minutes before he responded, quickly accepting her price quote and asking for her address. She was starting to feel uncomfortable. It wasn't a good idea to let a stranger know where she lived. She suggested she go get the sofa herself, but the man insisted on coming to her house. She got nervous and decided not to answer him. A day later, he sent her his address saying she could come to his house. Despite her anxiety, her desire to have the sofa led her to his address. The house was small and different from the rest of the houses, which made her feel even more strange. Upon her arrival, a middle-aged man wearing a hat opened the door for her, smiled at her strangely, and invited her in. Once inside, she noticed that the sofa was not as it was in the pictures. It was damaged and torn. When she pointed this out, the man offered to lower the price, but she declined. As she was about to leave, the man grabbed her shoulder and offered to give her the couch for free in exchange for a special favor. Disgusted, she quickly got out and got back to her car, but she didn't realize that the story didn't end there. That night, while she was in bed, she heard heavy footsteps on her porch. She turned off the TV and listened carefully, only to hear a faint voice trying to open the front door. She fearfully approached to look through the peephole, but the person was gone. Suddenly, she heard the back garden gate open and close. She called the police immediately and then heard attempts to open her back door. She screamed that the police were on their way, and then she heard footsteps rushing toward the gate again. Since that day, she has lived in endless fear, convinced that the man was the one who tried to break into her home. Story 2. Buying a car for his son. A man looking for a car for his teenage son finds what seems like a perfect deal, a Toyota Camry in good condition at a low price. He calls the seller, who introduces himself as Bob, and they seem perfectly normal. They agree to meet at the seller's house, and the father arrives early at the address. When he arrived, he noticed that the house was small and far from the other houses. He tried to find the car, but it wasn't there. Instead, there was an old truck and a lot of car parts scattered around. He knocked on the door of the house and waited for a long time, but no one answered. He tried to call, and he heard the seller's phone ringing inside the house. Here, he began to feel confused, but when he looked out the window to try to make sure if anyone was there, he was shocked by what he saw. There was someone standing by the back door of the house, but he was still not moving. Curious, he decided to move closer to the back door, only to discover the terrifying truth. This person was just a mummified corpse, standing as if watching outside. The father quickly ran to his car, and as he was about to drive off, he looked out the window one last time, only to see someone watching him through the closed curtains. Story 3. Buying an iPhone. A young man was looking for a good deal on a new phone. He found someone selling an iPhone at a great price, and they agreed to meet in a secluded parking lot. When he arrived, he was surprised to find the salesman with another man, and they headed towards the young man together. He noticed that the car the 2 sellers were in was following him closely. He increased his speed, tried to change lanes several times, but they kept following him. Finally, he decided to make a dangerous maneuver, run a red light, and managed to get rid of them. But that night, while he was reassuring himself that it was over, he heard a car stop near his house. It was the same car, and he was sure that they had not given up the chase. He rushed to wake his father, and they barricaded themselves in the house, but heavy knocking on the door began, and one of the salesmen threatened them with a gun. At a critical moment, the young man decided to call one of their neighbors, who was a policeman. The neighbor quickly arrived and arrested the 2 armed men. It was a terrifying experience, but it ended in a victory that the young man never expected. Conclusion: Don't be fooled by appearances and good deals. Sometimes danger lurks behind every tempting deal. Be careful when dealing with strangers and always stay alert. Follow us for more real scary stories, and don't forget to share your experiences in the comments.